Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah, my name is Moussa Magassa, and I think sometimes I just need to write it for people because it's not easy. Yeah, a bit of light. So I like to write it in both languages, and sometimes I even write it in Hebrew because Moussa comes from Moshe, in Hebrew, or Moses, and it is just the Arabic translation. And it is a name also that means something in my culture because where I come from, my African name is Bala. And very important where I come from is that you know people, original name. Bala is the name of warrior. So war is not something new for me. Traditionally, my ethnic group, we are called the Soninke, and they say we come from Aswan. We are from Aswan region, and Aswan is where there is the pyramid. Anthropology and history, and my people, the storytellers, still say that we descend from Pharaoh, and that creates a lot of mindset. It made people in my community think they are those great warriors, and they only are okay with whatever they think. I don't agree with them because I don't think that we are warriors. War is something that might just be in people's mind because they construct themselves and see themselves this way. War is not something I read in books. Beside my background, my history, my family background, I have encountered war myself. I worked in South Africa and worked for the reintegration of those young adults who have lived through apartheid. We didn't call them child soldiers on those days. I worked in Uganda and other places around the world. What I've seen is just there is no glory. What I've seen when they talk about war, I don't see glory. I see tears. I see pain. I see destruction. I see people caught in a kind of circle and not knowing what to do. Why? Because the mindset we all have been raised with is to get peace, you have to win war. That's quite a very weird dichotomy. To get peace, you need to win a war. Doesn't make any sense. I never win a war. Every time I thought I won a war, I look behind me. Not only I see those lying on the floor, but a piece of myself have stayed there also. You don't win a war. You live with war. If you win the war, you live with war. And the medical term for it is PTSD. It is trauma. It is anger, it is shame, it is lost. So it is why I ask myself, in light of this, let me put this question to you. All of us will try to work for peace by balancing it with war. Is really peace possible? Is it peace is a real solution? Because of war is so prevalent. Is peace a solution? So, quickly, I was born in Senegal. It is a small country in West Africa here. Many people think that Senegal is a very peaceful country because you never see it in the news, which is not true. There is a war going in the south of Senegal for more than 30 years now. My friend Alfred Jata is from that region called Casamance. As we say, the list of war, more than 300 war in the world. But there is also another 300 war that have not even been listed. Senegal was colonized by the French. It is why you will see that I have this thick French accent mixed with a lot of South African accent because I learned English in South Africa, not in Canada. So, where I grew up as a farmer. I worked the land. It is destroyed. Look behind me, it is dry. It's another form of war that colonization have done to us by devastating our resources. I also have seen it in Uganda, in the Naki Valley refugee camp. 27 years, people lived in this camp. Some young people were born here, they got married here and got children and grandchildren. When I was in this camp, there was no one with shoes. Everyone was going barefoot, no shoes, poverty. Nowadays, we know that those camps have been dismantled in Uganda because the Kony or the rebel groups are gone. But I also want to go back to child soldiers as you talk about it. Not only I worked with them in South Africa and other places, but when I came to Canada many years ago, I will say 17 years ago, I realized that Canadian, so when we talk about child soldiers, it is very sensational. We see it on TV. And I created a whole course around child soldiers and went to recruit child soldiers who are now refugees and living here in Canada. And we start going around and taking a whole day to do a workshop on child soldiers and the stereotype around them and how those former child soldiers want to be seen, understood, and integrated into the Canadian society. So this was a group of child soldiers, boys and girls, that I traveled all over doing this kind of training. The last 2 years I just burned out and stopped. Because, yeah. But now, it is also my duty to go around and talk about it. But what is important in this picture, it is my African outfit. When I wear it, I feel at peace. So, but I feel at peace because I work also at the Equity and Human Rights Office here on campus. I'm sure some of you have heard. UVic has an office called Human Rights. What do you understand by human rights education? Because we are here to educate ourselves. So what do we mean by education? What do you mean just by education even?
Well, bringing people to learning things they wouldn't have thought of by themselves.
Yes. Anyone else?
Challenging orthodoxy.
Challenging orthodoxy. Good. So human rights education also can just be, first look at what education is. Nelson Mandela just said it very nicely when he says that education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change your world. But what I want to say to this is human rights education, as someone would do it, and where I'm coming from in this presentation, it is to help us to connect the head and the heart. That our talk is also our work. And this is why I will be challenging you with these questions. The first question is peace still the solution to the world problems? If you say yes, so you will be in group number 1. If you say no, you will be in group number 2.
If we could devote more energy and skills and money, like here in Canada, to training mediators and negotiators and linguists so that instead of having truth and reconciliation commissions after conflicts, we could have people who could help, instead of going in with a solution, help two sides hear each other's perspectives, that maybe we could prevent a lot of those conflicts. And like you say, people could hear each other beforehand instead of after the devastation.
Oh my God. Peace is far more prevalent than war. Peace is ubiquitous. It is incessant and it is normal. We can't be in a state of war 24 hours. We will just break down. But we can be in a state of peace all the time. That's the argument that is being posed. War is already something that is outside of our nature, but peace is here for us. So why can't we have more peace? Why can't we work for more peace? That's the question. And peace, or building peace, or a strategic peace, as Lisa Church said, is only achieved when, as Teresa was saying, when we have the resources, the actors, and the approaches. And when we can coordinate those together for multiple goals and address multiple issues in the long term. That's the solution to have peace and to continue on peace. It is to have also the resources, the actors, but also to have multiple goals to address multiple issues. One thing we say is that these resources, we have to ask ourselves what they are. I put a question mark because oftentimes we have this tendency to think local and act global. It is the motto of humanitarianism. When we think for people who are in the global, but we think in our local context, it is where most of the development projects have failed. It is where things are not working. Because we need to think about these resources and the skills, not only here, but overall. The Civil Declaration of 1986 said it all. It said that war, since war began in the mind of man and human being, peace also began in those minds. And the declaration adds that the same species who have invented, oh, I love this word, war is an invention. The same species who have invented war are capable of inventing peace. And this responsibility lays on all of us. We all have to do this work. Is peace still the solution? I will say yes. Peace is far more prevalent than war, as Matthew Melko said again. It is ubiquitous, it is incessant, and it is normal. That's the only thing I have to add here. That as peacemakers or peace builders, we work for war, peace. We can't use the justification of a just war to go get a just peace. It doesn't work. I have been there. I have been with people who fought it this way. We all come back bruised. We come back in pieces. I'm among few people who can always piece it together. I know many friends who nowadays, they can't even call themselves human beings. War is no justification for peace. If we are a peace movement, we have to start to rethink what we really mean, peace. We have to rethink that peace in itself is enough to reinvent and to create a world of peace. We don't need to support war, or we don't need to put down war to justify that we're doing peace. Peace itself, we have the resources and the element in peace to start doing it. One last comment I want to say, if we want to build a ministry of peace, I will argue that this ministry should not be just a building on the side of the government, like all the ministries. That ministry should be integrated in every single ministry. It should be in every ministry. There should be an office or a program that talk and work for peace. A ministry of peace can't just be a minister there that look at the business of peace and the world ministry that look at the business of war. It won't work. Thank you.